let me continue this journey on Spiritfarer. Let's get into it, everybody. I am very excited to play more because we recently unlocked the Rock Destroyer. So I get to explore more areas of this world, which is very exciting. So we get to do more story quests. We get to do a little bit of everything. I think I just explored this city, if I'm not completely mistaken, which I could be. I very much could be, mind you. But here we are, barbecue sauce on our titties. And just, you know, trying our best. Just living our best redacted lives. I also forgot, but I do have 2 opals now, so I think I can go back to one of the places I've been to recently and actually get that power up so that I can jump on things. I don't think this is the town to do that in, so I think I'm gonna have to skip on that. I think I'm gonna have to wait until it's morning to do so, which is not a huge problem whatsoever. Sorry, I was just... Let me just have this open as well to be sure that I'm not missing anything. Hi, Zero. How's it going? What's up with the dots? Got more sunflower seeds. Oh yeah, I forgot about the sugarcane seeds. Oh yes. Let me just plant all of those. You like putting dots? Okay. They usually have a meaning, but I'm glad it's just something you like to type. You like the ship design? Thank you so much. I worked really hard on it. She's actually kind of cute. Like I'm not completely mad about it. She's doing something. Oh, let me wake up the girlies. Hope you're doing well though, Zero. It's nice to see you on here. I think I can go back to this town. I actually don't remember where it was. Oh shit, I don't remember where it was. I'm gonna have to do some backtracking.
Oh my god, hi!
Because I don't remember. Hi, Captain Gokai, how are you? I'm gonna have to do a little bit of backtracking because I don't remember where the other thingy was that I need. So I think I'm just gonna do some backtracking. I'm gonna go here and sell my shit. Hi, Vault Girl. How are you? The only Vault Girl. We love to see it. How are you today? How's everybody doing today? I'm just trying to distract myself a little bit today with some Spiritfarer. It's definitely not an easy day for a lot of people for obvious reasons. Oh wait, no, what am I doing? Oh, I just need to change the thing, I guess. Okay, work. Can we run away from Florida? Oh my god. It's funny because every time I think of Florida, I think of Spin. Like, I forget Gokai is also from Florida. And I'm always like, oh no. Spin would not approve of this. Like, my my instinct whenever something happens in Florida, I'm like, oh no. Spin, sweetie, I'm so sorry. No, you don't radiate Florida energy. I think you're just more vocal about being a Floridian. You're always like, y'all, I am so sorry. So I just remember that about you. You just want Trump off of the White House. Yup. To put it mildly, yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. Put the clown in a circus, not in a presidential position. I'm annoyed just like talking about it. I'm just like annoyed even like talking about him, even acknowledging his existence. Anytime he comes on the news, I'm just so frustrated. Because y'all would think he wouldn't really show up a lot on Portuguese news, but no, girls. Every country pretty much has like a whole section of their news broadcasts dedicated to like American politics these days. I feel like especially now that Trump is a president, I feel like now more than ever, for some reason, US politics have been more in the news everywhere. And I feel like that's also a way for like politicians, or I guess for even the news, to be like, Portugal isn't as bad, which, you know, it's, you know, maybe there are some points there, but also it's like, let's not deflect from our own issues, you know? Like, let's not use them as like a scapegoat for like, you know, to pretend there's no issues here. Because right now in Portugal, let me spill some Portuguese tea right now. Right now in Portugal, we're getting more daily cases of COVID than we've had in March, and we're still not in an emergency state, and we still don't have like obligatory lockdown. So that's what's going on in Portugal. So that's our current situation. Right now, they're only telling people, like, I guess in some places, in some cities and whatever, they're telling people to like go home, like to stay home, but it's not like obligatory. I think they're forcing like working from home in like companies where you can work from home. They're forcing that to be obligatory, and they're forcing places to close at 10, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So they do have some like things out there, but it's like nowhere near where it was in March, and we're definitely, I don't think our politicians are acting quickly enough, because there's already hospitals, and there's already like, in general, I feel like we're way above the 50% capacity when it comes to like at our hospitals. I think we're like at 70 or 80% capacity, so that's a little too dangerous, you know. That's a very, very dangerous position to be in. You hope Trump's head gets better? I just want him to get the fuck out of there. I just want him to get the fuck out of there, to be honest. I don't wish him anything. I don't wish nothing for that man. I just wish for him to get the fuck out. That's all. That's all I want. Oh, everybody went indoors because there's like drama going on. Oh, hi. You didn't go indoors. Wait, what is he talking about? Take some time for yourself. in this world. That's why Viv and my daughters don't have me around. Well, at least we got each other. Aww. I don't know what that was about, but okay, work. That's what America does too. I feel like the news outlets covering COVID in other countries is trying to tell people we're not the worst or whatever. It's frustrating because it shouldn't be a comparison thing. Absolutely. When it comes to COVID, I think they're pretty good over here about like covering everything, and our media over here is not shy of like criticizing our politicians and stuff like that. So that's really not a big issue. I'm just talking like politics in general. Like they really like to feed into the circus of like, you know, Trump versus Biden and that whole thing. You know, they like to feed into that, and like it's, and they're always talking about the latest bullshit that Trump has said or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And they do play that in like succession with like Bolsonaro in Brazil. So they basically try to have like a little portion of the news where it's like, look at these clowns, essentially, right? Without saying that, of course. It's like, oh, look at these clowns. Which, you know, puts things into perspective, but it's like, well, we're not perfect either, you know? Even among states, it's like that, comparing themselves to each other. Yeah. That's a thing that Trump does all the time, I've noticed. Like, anytime he's questioned about something, he's like, oh, but they're doing so much worse in New York, or they're doing so much, like, so-and-so is doing terrible. So-and-so is not doing a good job. Like, he's always, like, pointing the finger somewhere else. He's quite literally that meme, like that thing from Jada Essence Hall, where she was like, look over there. Like, that's literally Trump in a nutshell. Let's do it, whatever. Nova Scotia is doing better than any other part of Canada. Well, okay. That's not very productive, is it? It's not very productive to compare. That's also another thing. It's like Canada is also not perfect. As much as people want to say like, oh, Canada is doing way better than the US or whatever, like they still have their issues, y'all. They still have a lot of issues. And I know that because I also have Canadian friends. And I think, I guess it's easier, like when you're on the outside, I think it's easier for you to be like, oh, that's so much better in there. But, you know, I guess when you're in it, you're like, well, not really, girl. You're just saying there's less cases in Nova Scotia? Yeah, I know, I get what you're trying to say, but it's, I'm just saying it's not super productive to, I think it's one thing, I don't know, you probably didn't mean it like that, but it just came off as like, well, we're doing better, you know, or like, oh, I don't know. Because that's sometimes what people, like, you know. Oh, even over here, there was like a weird thing over here. Every time there's like updates on COVID, they're always like, these are the amount of cases from north, this is the amount of cases from south, this is the amount of, like, why are we making it like a thing where it's like we're looking at like what part of the country is doing better? Then it becomes like, oh, why are they doing worse in the north? Why are they doing it in this, you know what I mean? It's such a thing. It's like, girl, like, you know, like why do people do that? And it feeds into that whole like rivalry already, because I already told y'all that's kind of how they kind of operate in Portugal. Like there's that whole thing of like the rivalry of it all, and the comparisons and all that. And I don't know. I think it's something to be like, where I live, we're doing okay right now, but you know, but I think it's, I don't know. I hope y'all know what I'm trying to say. You never meant it to come out as rude or anything. Yeah, okay, that's good. And I didn't necessarily assume that you were trying to be rude, but I was saying that's how it came off. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just numbers to them, right? It's that thing of like, okay, but like, you know that those are people, right? Like, you know that this isn't just like a competition. It's not a competition at all, actually. Usually it's a politician whose exact job it was to do something about it. Over here it's different because like we have Congress. I guess it's not, I don't know if it's Congress. Is it Congress? We call it Parliament. And we have obviously the president and we have the prime minister. And that's it. Like, we don't have, like, when it comes to our districts, it's not like the districts each have their own laws and regulations and stuff like that. Now with COVID, it's different because, like, certain districts or certain, like, cities are having a little bit of more of a, like, they have different restrictions when it comes to COVID. But that's not really... That's just because there's more cases in those areas and they're trying to like lower the cases in there. You know what I mean? It's not like there's different laws to abide to. And I know in the US it's different because it's like each state basically acts like it's almost like a tiny country. And they almost act independently from each other. Not independently necessarily, but it is really interesting to me. Like how it's legal to do certain things in certain states and it's illegal to do those things in other states, and it's very interesting. Over here it's like everybody follows the same law, girl. Of course, like each like city hall and all that stuff, of course, like they use the budget that they have from like, you know, the government and whatever, and they each try to do their own thing with it, of course, but usually it's like they're not passing laws or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like it's like more like initiatives and community related situations. The US is like an interesting situation because it's almost like as if the European Union was one country, right? And thinking about that as an European person, I'm like, oh wow, that would be a fucking mess. You know what I mean? Because like that would be like every country having like their own laws and their own thing, but also like, oh, I guess the European Union is kind of like that, where it's like we have certain things where like everybody kind of follows certain guidelines and whatever, but at the same time it's really nothing to be compared with like its own like country, I guess. But it gives me that vibe. I'm like, wow, if this was like if like there was like a united Europe, or the equivalent of a United States would be like if the European Union was like, we're a country now. You know, and how chaotic that would be. Oh, well, it's nighttime again. And here I am. Oh, am I done here? Oh, this is so weird. Like, I have to constantly come here and, like, change this. I wonder why that is. I don't know how windmills work, y'all. Oh, I think I have to... Wait, no. Wait, I don't think I understand how this works. It doesn't turn on its own. I have to just do that, I guess. It's interesting because it's not going up or down any further. So I think I have to like do this manually or something. Like I have to hold the button. Cause like I can't get out of here. Like if I do, it stops. Like. But then again, she's not really moving. I wonder if the boat has to be moving in order for like the spinny thing to spin. I don't know how it works. I'm not a scientist. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Can be ground into rice flour in the... Yeah, I want to do that. Grind it goodly, girly. I guess it reacts to wind, so I think the boat does have to be moving. What if I put this in there? I wonder if there's like some sort of reaction. If like I put this close to the windmill. It doesn't, I don't think it has a reaction. I don't think it's reacting at all. An attempt was made, but no, she's not strong enough. Well, I tried, you know. I do have that. I have a sound command for that, I think. Is it like she tried or is it tried? What is it? I don't remember. Do you remember? I don't remember. Do you?
Well, she tried.
It is she tried. There you go. Well, she tried. You know, she tried. Oh, it did work. Oh, fierce. I think I need to do some cooking and stuff as well. Yes, I do the cooking. Yes, I do the cleaning. Corn flour in a windmill. Sure, I'll put one of these. I'll put one of these in there. Do I need stuff? Bruce and Mickey's crib. Okay, let me look into the... I was gonna say the ingredients. Into the materials. Does this game have an ending? I think so, Captain Gokai. I think it should have. I think it's like once you do every spirit's like storyline or something. Okay, I need ash planks to do that. I'm assuming that's when the game has some sort of ending. It's like when you do... When you send all the spirits to the afterlife or something like that. I don't know. I actually don't know if there is like a legit ending to it. I assume so. I assume there's only so many storylines that they have planned. But I'm happy to continue it. I'm happy to continue streaming it for sure. Because it's a very nice game to me. Like, I really, really like streaming this game. It's different from everything else that I play. Because it's not just a simulation game. It's not just a story-heavy game. It has a little bit of everything to me. And even in the simulation parts, like, there's mini-games for everything. So you have this. You have, like, you know, when it comes to all the different materials, you have the cooking, you have the feeding. You have the material gathering of it all. You have the boat exploration. I really do like everything about this game. there's really not anything that jumps out to me as like something that I dislike about it. I think sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. Like doing everything can get a little overwhelming, but I guess it's like, as long as you kind of accept that there's only so much you can do in one day, and sometimes you just have to like go with the flow and just do like whatever task you need for that specific quest or whatever it is, and you can only do one thing at a time, or I guess that applies to real life as well, right? Just like real life, right? Yeah, exactly. Would you look at that? And try not to be too hard on yourself when you're like, oh no, I haven't fed them today, or like, oh no, I didn't do this yet, or oh, I forgot about that. But sometimes it is a lot of stimulation at the same time. You're like, oh god, I have to do my crops, I have to do this, and then I have to get the boat moving, and then I have to go to the next like there's quite a bit to be done. But it's fun. It is super fun. And it's exciting that also your character doesn't sleep. Like, you don't have to sleep. So you can just like do whatever you want. Like right now I'm chopping up wood because why not, you know? Because it was nighttime, I couldn't move my boat. I couldn't do anything. So here we are. Learning life lessons, to be honest. Yeah. That's what happens when you play Spiritfarer, you know? That's exactly what happens. But yeah, if anyone would like to repost the straw poll link again from the Discord, I'm currently at the end of today. We're actually gonna figure out what game I'm gonna play next on stream, either tomorrow or Friday. I'm gonna get started with a new game. So if you wanna see, oh, my chickens! Oh my god, look at them, they're growing. My chickens are growing. Look at them. I have 2 tiny babies and 2 big mamas. Let me continuously put seeds in here. I still don't know why we have to cut the logs squiggly. I know, right? I think it's probably, even though the game shows the logs like perfectly fine, it's probably like trying to give that impression of like, you know, every tree has a different shape, and you, in order for the logs, in order for like the not the logs, in order for the planks to get like to be even, you have to like cut them in a certain way, I guess. But yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's okay. It makes for a fun mini game, I guess. It makes it so you have to pay a little bit of attention, which is not a terrible thing, all things considered. Yeah, thank you, Dex, for doing that. But if you haven't voted for whatever game you want me to do next, feel free to do so. I went to my game list. You can find it at !point game list. And the other day we did a number randomizer. And yeah, that's how I got the 4 options in the poll. And those are the 4 options you have to choose from. I might edit the game list depending on how y'all react to certain games. Like if I see that, you know, maybe for the next poll, or if in a different poll there's another game from this poll that also doesn't get votes again, I'm gonna be like, okay, girl, they don't want to see that game, you know? Because I don't want to make it to a point where like the game list becomes a list of games that y'all never voted for. Not that that's gonna happen anytime soon, because there's like I would say like probably 400 games in there. So, you know, it's not like I'm gonna run out of game. It's like I'm not gonna run out of games anytime soon. But you know, Okay, so it's morning. I can feed the girlies. Match of Fears, how are you? You want to experience the game on your own, so you'll be lurking. Sounds good, sounds good. Have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping by and showing me some love. I really appreciate that. Enjoy the clownery from a safe distance. Ooh, excuse me. Might as well feed my sheep. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me move. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Let me process what's going on. Have I been to this place? Have I moved my boat? Yeah, let me get with the program. Okay, yes, I've been here. Work. I want to backtrack again. Because I need to claim the ability that I just earned. So I want to go to neither of these places. I want to go here? I think so. I think that's where I want to go. I'll keep backtracking until I find the place that I need to be at. I've been mulling it over. It took me a while to figure it out. I don't think I'm happy here. I miss my family. Uh-oh. I miss the way the house smells before a big dinner. I know I can't go back home. That's just not possible. But I don't want to be here anymore. I know that would mean not being with you. But I want to be alone for a bit. Take some time for myself. Maybe enjoy some quiet if that's even possible. Thanks for listening, Sprout. I do tend to get intense, but I don't want to put pressure on you. Hopefully that wasn't too much. Fuck. Okay, so he's not leaving yet, but he does want to take some time for himself, which I assume after he reflects for a little bit, he may want to cross over. So that's going to be an interesting interaction that I'm not excited for. Well, you do sound picky, actually. You said you don't want to sound picky, but guess what, Mimi? Oh my god. Everybody is getting so picky at this point. I'm like, just drink some tea. Just do something at this point. I'm like, can you just not? I'm gonna miss Atul, because he never complains. He will eat everything, girl. He will eat everything. He does not complain. Unlike these girlies who complain about literally everything. At least this one eats fruit. That asshole over there, I'm gonna have to cook something for him because he doesn't eat things with just one ingredient. I'm gonna make something with the wheat flour. Let me make 2, and then wheat flour, and I'm gonna take the giant scallops, and I'm gonna take 2 of each, and I'm gonna cook that. I don't want to be picky, but I don't want that or that, right? Exactly. That's very that. I don't want to be picky, but like I hate every single option that you've given me. Like that, quite literally what's going on. Let me feed the mushroom boy. Another picky eater. Do you like fish curry? Work. Lovely. Bring me some French fries. Well, I'll think about it. I'm assuming that's just potatoes and oil. I'm assuming that's how you make French fries in this game. Oh, I thought you wanted some time for yourself. Have you talked to everyone you want to invite to our dinner? I haven't, actually. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Let me hug you. I guess he's not gonna take some time for himself because he's just hanging out, girl. Listen, these people. Do you want some peaches? There you go. Enjoy your peach. Yes, yes. You don't have to make the same joke every time. I want to be by myself. Also, I'm lonely. Isn't that me? Isn't that like an introvert mood at all times? Like, I want to be by myself. I don't want to talk to people, but also I'm lonely. But also, I had a dream that I had a boyfriend, and now I'm extremely lonely. Y'all, for like 3 days, like 2 or 3 days in a row, I had dreams that I had a boyfriend. I was so upset. Not really. I don't want to sound dramatic. I'm okay, everybody. But I was like, oh, interesting. Interesting selection of dreams there, Ruby. That it's very much a mood, isn't it? Fuck, I keep doing it wrong. Ah! Well, I guess I'm just gonna get in here. Waking up like, oh wow, right? Right? I'm saying. And then like I don't remember what he looked like. I just like vaguely, it's that weird thing, and you're probably gonna know what I'm talking about. It's that weird thing in a dream where it's like you can't really make out their face, but in your head you just know that's your boyfriend. You know what I mean? It's like like in the dream it's like, you know, you're thinking and you're like, oh, that's my boyfriend, hi, and you know what I mean? Like you go about your day or whatever, you know. And then like you try to think back to it. I was like, was that like the universe trying to like, did I have a That's So Raven moment in my sleep? But then I literally can't tell you what he looked like, so that's a shame. So, you know, that's the end of that. It's definitely a situation, isn't it? I don't remember if this was if this town was the place that had like that redemption thing that I needed for the jumpy jump. Maybe so, right? That's so Raven moment, right? You know, you never know. You're like, did I just have a premonition? Did I just dream? Because then you're like, well, let me look for that man. You know what I mean? Because then you're like, oh, let me look for him then, Grom. Where is he? It's very that. You're like, where is this man? Maybe in the future you'll know what he looks like. I hope so. I hope that whenever I finally get a boyfriend that I'll know what it looks like. I think that's exactly why your brain doesn't do that. Well, maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Oh, it's nighttime again. God damn it. I feel like I'm not getting anything done. Now I just feel like I'm just reading myself. Like now I just feel like this is IRL. Like nighttime comes and you're like, oh shit, I didn't do anything. Is the food ready? Okay, it is. Fisherman's pie. Ooh. Take the fisherman's pie. If you don't like it, suck my ass. Okay, he's fine. He literally didn't have any reaction to it. He was like, oh, great, food. He did not give a shit. He could not be bothered. He's just like a grinder profile pic. I don't know. No, I don't think that it's quite that, Gokai. Because I feel like in the dream, you can see his face, you know what I mean? Like you can make out his face, but like when you wake up, you can't do that. So like when you wake up, you just see like you just remember like vaguely, very vaguely what he looked like. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Because like facial features, sometimes I do dream of like, you know, either people that I went to school with or people that I worked with. I actually, yeah, I think I've dreamed with people. Not like that, but I've had dreams. People make cameos in my dreams all the time. You know what's weird sometimes, like looking back, is like sometimes in your dream you're like, oh, that's so and so, but they don't really look like that person. You know what I mean? It's just like they vaguely resemble the person, but not really. But in your dream you're like, oh, that's so and so. Isn't that weird? Isn't that like another journey? Yeah, but 2020 really got me like that, y'all, because I really wanted this year to be like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, be more in the dating scene. I'm gonna, you know, I installed everything. Like, even before 2019 was over, like, it was like December, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on Tinder, I'm gonna be on Grindr, I'm gonna go on dates with guys, and 2020 is gonna be my year. Well, and then here we are. And then 2020 exists, and it is nothing of the sort. It's always so weird to me when I have a dream with someone from high school in it. Like, I haven't thought about this person in over 10 years. What are they doing here in my brain? And they usually look like the way that they looked when they were in high school with you, which makes things more confusing because that's not how they look like. And a lot of the times you know how they look like right now, and you're like, huh, what an interesting situation. What an interesting predicament. I've dreamed about BTS, y'all. Like, I've dreamed that I went to their concert. I dreamed that, like, I was, like, in a relationship with either, like, one of them or, like, someone in their circle. It was a thing. It was a whole thing. Like, I don't know what happens. I think I don't usually dream about... I don't think I usually have dreams about work. I think maybe one time. Sometimes I have dreams where, like, I hang out... I'm, like, not in school, necessarily. But, like, people that went to school with me make cameos in it, which is odd as well. Which I think is equally as odd, because you're like, why are you here? Oh no, you have the recurring dream that you have to go back to high school and you can't find any of your classes? Oh no. Yeah, I can't really think of like any dreams like that I may have. Oh, look at my chickens in their coops. I'm screaming. Look at them. There's like 4 of them now. Look at them. Aww. My cute little chickens. I hope I don't kill them. I hope that's not a feature. I don't want that to be a feature. Okay, let me build their home. So they don't dream, they don't sleep outside anymore. Oh shit, I can't fit their house in here. Okay, let me do some renovations up in here. Let me do some editing, because I need to be able to fit their house in there. I hate that. Oh no, you have those dreams. A lot of people do have those dreams. I don't think I've ever had a dream like that. Watch me jinx myself, and like tomorrow I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna be like, y'all, here's what's going on. Here's what I just dreamed of, girlies. Girl, that's a fierce house. Let me just say that. This is a fierce home. Look at this. Girl. What? This is fierce. A little too bro-y for me. They don't have a bed. I guess this is kind of like a bed. It looks like a couch. But this is a couch. It's like a bachelor's pad. You have a recurring dream where I had in-person classes except for English and I keep forgetting to do my work for it. Have y'all looked into like what that might mean? I should look at what it means to like have a boyfriend in a dream if you don't have a boyfriend IRL. I should look into that. You get so stressed out. Oh no. What am I doing? I'm 30, right? I don't think I've had dreams like that. Maybe I have and I just don't remember. But that's very real. I've had dreams where I was like in school. I've had those like weird dreams and I hate them where it's like you're like, it's so gross. Like when you chew on something, you're like, oh, that's my tooth. And then it's like, you just gradually like, does that ever happen to y'all? It's so realistic and it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it freaks me the fuck out because it feels so real. And you just like, I don't know, like sometimes you try to hide it and you try to play it cool and you're like in a weird setting. Sometimes like you're just generally anxious about it and there's like, those are the worst because they feel so real. Like you wake up and you're like, did I break a tooth while I was asleep and that's why I dreamed of it? Like it is so disgusting. I hate those. I hate those. Those are so nasty and rotted. Yeah, it is. I've heard about that as well. Like, it's very common, unfortunately. I don't know. I've heard it means, like... I don't know. There's, like, different meanings. But I heard there's, like... That means, like, death. And I actually don't remember if someone died close to, like, when I had that dream. But also... Who knows if there was actually a meaning for that. Or if I was just grinding my teeth. Because I do grind my teeth when I sleep. And if I just made a sound, you know what I mean? Like I was just grinding my teeth that day and like it seeped through the dream and then, I don't know. I think it was also because it was quite traumatic for me when I started losing my baby teeth. It was like really traumatic. Like I hated it. When they started to be a little bit like, you know, when they started to... get a little shaky, like I hated it so much. I really did. It was like one of the worst feelings ever. I was in elementary school and I hated it. So I think maybe there's like something from there that like seeps through still to this day of like how terrible that was. Like hundreds? Oh, I don't think I've had that. We take a break from nightmares to talk about coffee. I love that. Y'all, yesterday I had hazelnut coffee. I don't like their hazelnut and cinnamon combo. I thought that was a little, like, I don't know. I didn't know how to feel about that. But yesterday I tried the hazelnut by itself. And it was delicious. It was like one of my favorites. So I totally 100% recommend Grinding Coffee CO. They are really good. And there's some folks in chat who can also attest to how good they are, because they've also tried it. I would love if they added more sample packs, because I do love a sample pack. I'm too afraid of buying like a bag and being like, oh, I don't like it. You know what I mean? And then having to like drink it. Not that I don't think I would dislike it or hate it or something. Like I would be fine. But you know what I mean? I guess this is not the place where I get the jumpy thing. Yeah, the hazelnut is really good. The Cinnabon is really good, but they have a flavor that's cinnamon and hazelnut, and I did not like the two together. So that's a thing. Yeah, those are like two of my favorites, actually. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah. Good memory, Spin. Good memory. I forgot that I also really liked the they call it Cinnabon. So I don't know if it's just like, if there's a difference between the Cinnabon flavor and cinnamon. If that makes sense. Oh, there's a shrine. I guess this is it. But yes, you can use my link in the chat to you can use my link in the chat to support me, to support a Black and queer owned business, and also you get great coffee. Oh wait, what did he say? I didn't read what he said. Cinnabon is a brand of cinnamon rolls. Yeah, I know that actually. But I wonder if they just call it Cinnabon, or if there's like more ingredients in it. You know what I mean? In their Cinnabon flavor, other than cinnamon. Does that make sense? I was just wondering if, yeah, maybe there is actually, yeah. That would actually make a lot of sense. It would actually make a lot of sense. Because I love those cinnamon rolls. They have, we have some delicious ones in IKEA. I know it's not top tier, I know. But it's cheap and it's delicious. And I love them because they're usually warm as well. Like they're usually fresh off the presses. And they're lovely. And they're lovely. So that's my reference for Cinnabons. So I wonder if they have like, I don't know, like brown sugar in it or something like that. I know they had to do like a revamp of the store because some of the flavors were done through certain distributors. So they only have like a select few amount of flavors right now because they had some issues with their old distributor. So that's a whole thing, unfortunately. They have a Kickstarter now, actually. I should pull that up, but yeah, they do have a Kickstarter now. Cinnabon cinnamon rolls are wild. Like, they're the size of a child's head and covered in icing. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely not my experience with them. Like, the cinnamon rolls that I had were like, you know, like the palm of my hand, like this big maybe. Like, not that big. Like, just, you know, the regular size of a pastry. You love Cinnabon? I love that coffee flavor with grinding coffee. I really do. I really did love that. You would always get the Cinnabites. which I assume is a tiny version of the Cinnabon. I love that. That does sound very good. I miss going to like a pastry place and stuff like that. I wonder if they have any pastry places on Uber Eats in my area. They probably do. Like, I don't remember them having a lot of them before, in the before times, but maybe now they have. Because a lot of places are resorting to do, like, takeout and stuff, so that would be lovely, actually. Ugh. I miss going out. I know for some people, life basically didn't change. They were like, girl, just pop on a mask and go about your life. But to me, it's not that simple, honey. Because I'm like, honey, I'm not going to risk my life for a donut. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, I feel like either I'm too dramatic or people don't understand the implications that when you're going out, you are essentially risking your life because you don't know how your body, like, you don't know if you're immune to it. You don't know if you're gonna get it. You don't know if you get it. You don't know if you're gonna have symptoms to it. You don't know. You know what I mean? So I feel like either I am too dramatic, but I feel like I'm not because I've seen other people be like this as well. But yeah, for some people, like, everything is normal, girl. They were like, oh, I'm just gonna put on my mask and I'm just gonna go to the coffee shop. I'm gonna go on a date. I'm gonna suck a dick. And I'm gonna get my Starbucks on the way out. And it's like, no. We need to give you a proper nickname. Miki, what do you think? Right? I don't like that. That's already taken. Phantom Terror? That's no good. Give him a minute. Okay, girl, they're thinking about a nickname. I hate nicknames. People used to call me a vampire in high school. I don't want to talk about that. I was like, actually, let me not talk about that. Yeah, Dex, because, like, one day, everybody just, like, it was one person. All it took was one popular kid in my class to be like, it's summer and you're so white. You must be a vampire. Ha 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 ha. And everybody else just started calling me a vampire. Listen. Yeah, it's just... Yeah. And I think I was wearing a long sleeve shirt. Because, like, in the morning, it was kind of chilly. But, like, you know, when you're back to school, it's still warm. But, like, when I left the house, I was like, oh, it's kind of chilly. So I wore, like, a long sleeve shirt. And that also was a thing. And I was like, well, you know. And then, you know, the theme of sucking as a vampire also kind of led into some light homophobia. And by light homophobia, I mean just innuendos, I guess. It wasn't too bad. But, you know, just the great experience of being a high schooler. Such a fun time. Such a fun time to be a high schooler. Yeah, it was not cute. It was not cute. To be fair, nobody got on his... Like, because he was a popular kid, he could get away with anything. He literally wore bronzer. I think one time he told everybody that he wore like bronzer. Or like, you know, like tinted moisturizer, I guess that's the word. And nobody gave him shit for it. God forbid I did that. I would be a redacted. Which I am, but you know. Why are we zooming? What's going on? Oh, not this. The camera change, like, gave me a moment. Hi there, could this day get any longer? No, that's just impossible. Can I go in here? On my way to a happier day. Aww. Yeah, y'all. It was so... Ooh, no, not that word. It was so silly to me. I was just like, why? Out of all the things you could call me, you're calling me a vampire because I'm pale? I was just like, that's just not original. You know what I mean? I was just like... "15-year-old you would have taken it as a compliment." I just didn't want attention, you know? I didn't want to be noticed, especially in a making fun of me kind of way. So, you know, like in my first year of high school, I wanted to be one of the cool kids. And then this is really sad, but it's fine. I'm over it. But at the time, it was really sad. I used to only hang out with the guys. Because that was, I kind of told y'all, that was kind of my dynamic in middle school. But like, I don't know. I think either guys in middle school, because we spent so many years as like schoolmates, I think either at some point they just accepted me for who I was. And they just, or dealt with me. But obviously in high school, I didn't know any of these people, right? So I think they either didn't care to do so or whatever. Or maybe I just wanted to be like, I want to be a cool kid. So I always hung out with the guys. And like, obviously they were the cool kids. Because in my class, there were only like a handful of guys. Everyone else was like a girly. You know? So I was like, okay, I want to be one of the cool kids. So I always hung out with them, and there was like a small group that like, I remember they would cut class sometimes and I would go with them, and they would like smoke joints and I wouldn't because I was like, oh no. Because I remember the cool kid, the coolest of the kids, he didn't smoke. He was like, oh, I don't smoke. So I was like, I felt empowered. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm also cool if I don't smoke. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and I would spend like lunch with them, all that stuff. And I remember like it was probably a bit of a strain for my parents. Like it would probably be easier if I just ate at the school cafeteria because it was like significantly cheaper. But I wanted to be a cool kid, so I was like, why can't I go eat? Why can't I go have eat with my friends at like? It was like they wouldn't go to like a restaurant or anything. We would go to like the mall across the street from our school, and they would eat like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't, you know, it was definitely more expensive than the cafeteria, but you know, it wasn't like right now I would be lucky to have lunch for that amount of money. You know what I mean? It was like 5 or 6 euros. It was not like a huge thing, you know? But at the time, I was like, I want to be a cool kid. And I remember one time, they went to this grocery store across our school, and they all got like one of those, they weren't like frozen burgers, but they were like those burgers that you could like, they were edible, but you could like microwave them so that the cheese would melt and stuff like that. And we were all gonna go to this person's house. And I remember I went with them. I think in one of our breaks, we had like a 15-minute break, and I went with them to get the burgers and all that stuff. And then at lunch, I don't know what happened. I don't know if like I was held back in class for some reason. Like I don't know, like I guess I just took longer than the others to leave the building. And then like literally all of them went without me to this person's house. He lived like walking distance from the school. And they just literally like zoomed. And I was like, "Oh, where are they?" And they were nowhere to be seen. So I was just like, for a second, I remember I think I looked for them like around the vicinity. But then I was like, well, shit. And I just literally remember like I just opened my burger and I just had my burger, like, you know, like sitting like in the I guess in that vicinity like of the school. And I remember one of the people that went to school with me, she's like, "Oh, why are you by yourself?" Like after she had eaten at the cafeteria, she like came downstairs to the entrance of the school where everybody hung out, because it was like an apartment building, so like everybody just hung out like, you know, in that like street, in that vicinity. And she's like, "Oh, why are you eating by yourself? What happened? Like, where's everybody?" I guess she knew that the guys like were making that plan, so she was like, "Oh, why didn't you go with them?" And I was like, "Well, I was going to, but they just like ditched me. They just left me." And she was like, "Oh, that sucks. Like they're like so fake. Like they're so this, they're so that." I was like, "Yeah." And I remember like I think that was the last day I hung out exclusively with the guys. I was like, it's not worth it. Fuck these guys. They're not real friends. If they were real friends, they would have like waited on me. They would have cared to hang out with me. Like I remember that was a moment where I was like, fuck this. I can jump now on top of things. But yeah, it was really shitty. So I started hanging out with the girlies, and I started eating at the cafeteria, and actually the cafeteria food was actually pretty good. And I remember then, I think the popular guy in my class, I think either his family was going through like financial stuff or whatever the thing was. And I remember like, I guess one time, because like I think he was like low-key friends with me, but also he liked to like make fun of me. I think that was his way of bonding with me, because that's how straight guys, I guess, work. But I remember like I helped him through a breakup that he had. Like I remember he was like messaging me on MSN Messenger. Do y'all remember that? Oh my god, I'm old. And I remember like kind of helping him through that, because I also had a crush on him. Oh my god, I also have a funny story about high schooler Ruby and how like a situation fully backfired on me. This is actually really funny, because it's so silly. So there was this girl that went to the same school that I went to, but we weren't like schoolmates or anything. Like she just happened to go to the same school as me, so I knew of her. And the girls in my class used to say like, "Oh, she's a whore." Like I don't, you know, I'm obviously not for slut shaming or anything like that, but I was a kid, right? This was like high school, and the girls would be like, "Oh, she's such a whore." And apparently they all had like New Jersey accents, and they would be like, "She's a whore." And I remember one time this guy that I had a crush on, that I was just talking about, he went up to me, I think, and he was like, I think he asked if I knew her or something like that, because they knew she had gone to the same school as I did. So they were like, "Oh, how is she?" Like there was two guys. One of them I had a crush on, the other not really. And they were both like, oh, how is she? Like whatever. And I was like, oh my god, she's totally that type to like hook up with any guy. She's so easy. Like, how dare I? But also, I think it was like low-key true, but it doesn't matter. And I failed to realize that that was a good thing for a straight guy. I failed to realize that that was an appealing factor, and I just ruined my chances. Not that I don't think I had any chances with, I don't know, who knows, right? Sexuality is fluid, who knows, right? And I was like, she's such a whore, like she's an easy one. And they were like, cool, next thing you know, he's dating her, and now they have like kids together. Everything. I don't think they have kids, they have like a kid. I think she was like pregnant like last year or this year or something. Y'all, and it all started because I said she was a whore. I hope she doesn't know that, but like their relationship started because I said that she was like a hoochie. And she was like, you know, she was gonna hook up with basically anyone. And he was like, work. And then he started dating her. And I was like, oh, that's not gonna last. Like, she's a whore. It's never gonna last. And then she actually turned out to be like kind of sweet. And then it turns out like they literally dated throughout the entirety of my high school experience. And there was that. He was like really nice to me. Like when we would speak in MSN, like he was very nice to me in private. So I always had that thing of like, if we ever were alone, I don't know. He was kind of like flirty, but I guess that's how straight guys sometimes talk to each other anyway. So I don't know, girl. But he pretty much clocked me the second, because he transferred like right at the beginning of the school year. And he basically like clocked me right away. And I was like, fuck. But I don't know. Anyway, isn't that wild though? Like they're still together. And I thought, that's not gonna last. Oh, girl. Oh my god. It's funny because, like, out of the people that were in relationships when I was in high school, like, they're pretty much still the like, I'm 26 right now. He's also 26. I think she's 27. Or maybe, no, I think she's 27. But there I was, thinking I was, like, being a cool guy, being like, oh, she's a whore, like, I think I said it in a way of like, don't do it, she's a whore. And I didn't think that that was a good thing in the eyes of a straight man. Because they obviously just want, like, she was hot. So obviously, like, from the perspective of that, they were like, hell yeah. And I think one of them actually had the guts to, like, you know, start talking to her. And next thing you know, they're dating. And I was like, well... He was also very hot. I will say that. Like, he still is very hot. Like, he actually ended up working in the vicinity where I was working. So I would see him like, yes, he's cheating on you. I knew it. Thank you for telling me the truth, Munchkin. I knew I could count on you. It warms my heart to know that I can trust in someone. Now, please, you know what to do. I don't want to see his face anymore. He's out. Out of my house. Out of my hair. Ooh, new quest retrograde. Well, he does deserve that. Oh, here he comes. I don't get it. Things were going so well. You cheated on her. I don't deserve to be treated this way. Your Astrid, she's got such an ill temper. What will I do now? I'll go, I suppose. But where? Over there by Atul's workshop? No, too chilly. Up to Alice's cottage, maybe? Nah, that won't cut it. Alright, I'll think about it. See you around, Bambina. Girl, maybe if you kept it in your pants. A letter from Albert. Another letter from Albert. Hold on. Dear valued customer, we are running a special promotion. Enclosed is one of our new buildings, a part of our Funtacular series, a bouncy platform. We hope you enjoy your time in the air. Miss Matchmaker. Honestly. Like, honestly. It is funny though that I was like, I thought that was a bad thing. And I thought that was gonna be something that was gonna be against her. Which is really shitty of me, but also like, you know, you're in high school, listen. I just, you know, I was just supporting him through a breakup, so there I was thinking I had a chance. And you know what was so annoying? Not annoying. I guess it was annoying. I don't know what it was, but he would talk about having sex with her all the time. And I remember being like, that could have been me. I was like, that could have been me. I would have just, you know, I would have just gotten on a bus to his house with him. And that would have been me in secret. Anyway, I do feel bad sometimes. I'm like, damn, I hope she like, it's kind of a shitty foundation to a relationship. Like, oh, she's a whore. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a shitty foundation. But I guess, you know, good on them. They're still together. I guess he was in high school anyway. Who cares, you know? She quote unquote proved him wrong anyway, right? So who cares? Not that she had anything to prove to anyone, but you know what I mean. Oh, I had so many I just have crushes on people. Like, it's not, for me, it's not a thing of like, oh, I have a crush on him because he's straight or whatever. Like, no, I just, when I find someone cute, I find them cute. But like, unfortunately, sometimes there's the thing of like, oh, he's straight. And you're like, well, there's nothing I can do there. But I don't actively pursue anything with anyone. But don't get me wrong. If at any point in my high school experience, he was like, hey, you want to come over to my house? Just the two of us, I would be like, yes. You know what I mean? I would be like, yes, I do. There was actually a guy. I think he identifies as straight. But I remember he was like, hey, want to come over to my house? And I was like, and I just had this thing. And because I used to have a friends with benefits in like middle school. Don't judge me. And I was like, this was like a year after I I accidentally set up my crush with his girlfriend. And this guy said that, and I was like, I think this is low-key. I think this low-key could be another situation like that. But you know what? I had a moment of like self-worth, and I was like, you know what? No. Because I think at the time I was watching Glee, so I was feeling, you know, I was starting to get my pride in like my identity. So I was like, you know what? No. I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't. And then like I remember looking back, I was like, that totally would have been like another kind of like hookup in secret kind of situation. And I was like, no, I don't want that again. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was like a lovely moment of like self-worth of like, you know what? No. I remember he also had terrible breath because I think he smoked. He did smoke. So I was like, I was like, also absolutely not. But he was cute. Like, listen, it would have. I'm sure it would have been an interesting gig. Not gig. Not me talking as if I was a prostitute. No, but I would have been an interesting situation because he wasn't like ugly, right? But no. But I remember having that moment of like, you know what? We're not gonna make that mistake again. We're not gonna make that mistake again. I'm no one's like secret, whatever. Like if they want to be with me, they want to be with me. I don't want to be no one's secret. So naturally, I don't talk to anyone who's like discreet on Grindr. I'm sorry, I just don't have the time for that, you know? Like, I understand, like, not everybody is out and all that stuff, but I don't think I have the emotional energy to, like, go through that with someone. You know what I mean? Of, like, having to date in secret and having to see that. Like, I understand, like, I don't know, maybe if I was in a situation where I wasn't out, maybe that could be a thing where, like, we're compatible in that way. And we kind of relate on that, and we can kind of help each other out of the closet slowly but surely. But I'm like, no, at this point, I don't have that kind of energy anymore. You know what I mean? And I agree, no one should have to go through that, but at the same time, it's like, it's a part of our experience as queer people. Because, you know, coming out is unfortunately not safe for everybody. So that's also like a thing, right? That we have to kind of just accept, because it's like, it's the truth, unfortunately. Like, it's a part of our reality. It's like, not being accepted for who we are is just a part of, I can't reach that. It's just a part of, like, our experiences. Ah! Oh my god. Oh my god, girlies, I can do it. Oh my god. Wait, can I not do it? Ooh, I don't know how I accidentally did that. Work. But yeah, I don't have any time for that now. You know what I mean? Like, I stopped in high school to have time for that. And listen, that probably would have been an interesting situation, but and I probably, you know, would have been a nice moment in my life where maybe I would be getting some activity. But yeah, it just wasn't worth it for me. I also didn't know where he lived. So that was also a thing. Like, I don't know where you live, girl. He had a motorcycle, though. I remember that was kind of like a cool factor for him at the time. The girlies were like, oh my god, he has a motorcycle. Anyway, isn't that interesting, though? Like, when you have experiences where, like, maybe, like, a quote-unquote straight person low-key hit on you, and you're like, I wonder what's going on in their head right now. Because, like, a lot of the times they still like identify as straight, or like they're in straight relationships and whatever. So I sometimes I do think about that. I'm like, I wonder what's the tea with that. Yeah, right? But anyway, it's none of my business anyway. There's another interesting story from my high school. And y'all, I am so fucking oblivious. I could have been in a relationship right now. So long story short, there was a gay person in my high school that I didn't know about because obviously they were probably in the closet. And I just wasn't paying attention because they were in... What the fuck? Why did it like zoom in here? They were a part of like the IT, like, I guess it's not major in high school, but they were a part of that course in high school, so they were quote unquote the nerds. So naturally I wasn't really paying attention to them, even though that sounds awful. But I wasn't, you know, they usually blended in the background. A lot of them, like, you know, did like act as if, like, the dynamic in my high school was like the people that studied social communication were like seen as like bimbos, and people who are in IT, they were the smart people. And then there were like, yeah, there was another one. They were like, oh, they're the nerds. They're like, that's the sausage party, because I think it was like electronics, and they did like they built like robots and stuff like that, and they were like the nerds, but also like kind of like bro-y, and also kind of like, you know what I mean, kind of like gross, and kind of like, okay, not that. And then there were, what was the other one? Oh, and then there were the artsy kids, which were also kind of in the background. No, that was like not a thing that people like. I don't remember them necessarily having any kind of reputation. But usually the people in social communications were kind of the more popular ones, because you know, if you think about it, you have to be a certain level of outgoing, and obviously I'm streaming. So even as a shy person, I did have that in me, right? Where we, you know, I'm so thankful for my high school, because like every month, like for every single class, I think it was a part of our curriculum, like we had to have a presentation, no matter where it was, if it was English, if it was history, if it was Portuguese, whatever it was, like periodically we would have like a presentation that we would have to do either as a group or like solo. So at some point, like I was someone who would be like shaking every time I would have to do like a public speaking kind of gig. By 12th grade, I was like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like I still got nervous, but I knew I already was familiar with like, okay, I'm going to be nervous. It's going to be fine. I'm going to be you know what I mean? Like I'm going to have adrenaline. I'm going to be a little bit nervous, but it's going to be fine. You know what I mean? So I'm super grateful for my high school for that. So, okay, anyway, that was a tangent. But there was a guy that went to my high school. To be fair, he was like older than me, so I don't think I was paying that much attention to him anyway. And he wasn't out. Like there was only a kid in there. I think he was bisexual. I think he was out as bisexual. But he was very flamboyant, so nobody believed him, I guess. Like everybody was just like, okay, sure, you're gay, whatever. Which is shitty, but that's how people are in high school, I guess. I mean, that's how people are in IRL. Anyway. I was gonna say something and I forgot. Oh yeah, so I never really thought anything of this. Cut to like 2016 when I started streaming, actually, fun fact. This was like, I graduated in 2012. So this was 4 years after high school. I also came out in 2012, I'm pretty sure, but that's another story. I was working at the pizza place, and there was this one guy that eventually came in, and he was like nice, you know, he was like pleasant, he was nice to everybody. And I remember he was kind of touchy, not in an inappropriate way, but he's that kind of person that like when he would hang out, like, or I don't know, he would like easily put his hand like on your lower back, not in a gross way, but just like a little, not a tap necessarily, but like let's just say if he was going from here to here, he would like maybe like as a way, like instead of pushing you or instead of being like excuse me, he would just be like, you know, he would just do like a slight tap, not a tap even, it was just like a, you know, and it was just like, it definitely read as friendly. And looking back, I was always like, am I being paranoid, or does he like low-key, you know, like me or whatever? But I was like, I don't know, girl. Like, you know, like unless it's like completely obvious, I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, right? Like I don't want to be the guy that's trying to get a straight guy. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be that, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. Cut to, I leave that job. We're Facebook friends, obviously. And then, like, I guess I was working at my, not my current job. Ooh, at the job that I quit this year. And I saw on Facebook he was dating a guy. Not just a guy that joined when I left. Probably my replacement. Probably not. He probably joined a little bit later or whatever. But he was not working there when I was working there. Cut to, he's dating a guy now. And they're cute together. But a part of me is like, that could have been me. I was like, God damn it, that could have been me. I remember I had a crush on him. I did have a crush on him. Because he always smelled so nice. And that's like a thing for me with guys. Like when they smell like really nice, I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? So that was a thing. But I never thought of him that way. And if I wasn't oblivious, maybe I would have thought of him that way. He's also a gamer. And I was like, well, shit. And like a coworker of ours that I thought was kind of an asshole sometimes, like she turns out is super supportive of their relationship. So we love an ally. She was actually really sweet to me. Like we butted heads a lot of the times. But like that last like few months of me working there, she was actually really nice to me. But yeah. Isn't that wild? Like, there was this guy that may have been low-key into me, but I was into someone else. Which, in hindsight, was not a great idea. Because that guy, first of all, he was a twink. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. But he was kind of, like, muscular, too. Like, he was, like, not muscular, bulky, but he was, like... He was, like, like, firefighters over here. It's, like, a volunteer thing. Like, I don't think... Unless you have, like, a specific... Unless you actually work there, or unless you are like a higher tier in there, like you're not getting paid. Like it's a volunteer thing. Firefighters here is like a volunteer job. And he volunteered there, and I thought it was so cute. Like, I guess a twunk. I guess if you think about it, I guess who could be a good reference? If you think about like Jungkook from BTS, you know what I mean? Or like, there's actually a guy from TXT that looks like kind of similar to him, actually. I think Taehyun from TXT. He's kind of a twunk, right? He's like he has fully like a six-pack. And you're like, and I don't know why I was kind of into him, but I was. He was like a very sweet guy and all that stuff, but he like never wanted to hang out, so you know that should have been my hint. Not that this guy wanted to hang out anyway, but we got along really well, and I just wish that, I don't know, I wish that maybe he was a little bit more obvious. I wish maybe I caught up mentally, like, girl. But, yeah. I wonder how things could have been different. Isn't that interesting, though? Isn't that interesting how that works? I'll just write down whatever everyone wanted. You just need to prepare it all. Heavy lifting, you know? Great, I'm just gonna have to make a ton of different meals. Because people want to eat. Would you look at that? Magnifico, Bambina. This is perfect. I couldn't have even hoped for such a lavish saloon. I can't wait to rest my feet on the sofa. Hey, Peanut. Want to fix me a drink? Yeah, come on. You know you want one. With just a dash of vodka. A Virgin Caesar, then. Really? Nothing? Bah, okay, suit yourself. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to pour myself a little pick-me-up, alright? Catch my drift? Right? Wrong crowd? Ciao, ciao. I don't know why, but it hurts to see him go. I didn't think it would, but here we are. Anyway, it was the right thing to do. Thank you for your help, Stella. Now, is she gonna go? I need some time. I need to be alone by myself for a little while, I think. Thank you, Munchkin. Thank you for being here by my side. Okay. I thought she was gonna be like, now I am just gonna go. I need to go. If people don't tell me they're interested in me, I don't have time to figure it out. It's not that I don't have time to figure it out. It's just gonna go over my head. Like, honestly. Like, literally, if someone is into me, they have to be, like, very obvious about it. Even then, I guess if people, I don't know. No, they have to be obvious about it. If what you're saying can come across as a joke, I will take it as a joke. That's my issue. If what you're saying may come off as a joke, I will take it only as a joke, and I will not think that you're into me whatsoever. Which that could be a way for people to like try to, you know, slide into the DMs or like try to get into you. Not in an inappropriate way, but you know what I mean? Like trying to, like for some people to break the ice, that could be like a thing. Like they do a jokey, flirty thing, like in case you take it as a joke, it's like, haha, yes, I totally meant it as a joke. But if you take it as more than that, they'll be like, what's up, girl? You know? But I always take it as a joke. I don't know what that says about my self-esteem. Hi, Overload. I hope you're well. I almost just farted. TMI. But okay, I did fart, but it was gonna make a noise because I was like shifting in my seat and a fart was gonna come out at the same time, and I was like, oh no, girl, let the fart come out and then you shift just in case, because she's gonna be loud. But it's fine. Anyway, wow, what a day we're having. Listen, I overshare, and that's just gonna be a thing here, and that's just my life, you know? The good thing about me is like 90% of the time my farts will not make a sound and they will not smell. So isn't that lovely? Isn't that just like a good experience? Like if you're my significant other, there's only like a 10% chance that I will be stinky. Like it's really bad. Like I fart all the time, like at a restaurant, like at the bus stop. Because I have the privilege of like when I fart, it's not gonna make a sound, and it's also not gonna smell bad. I know when they're gonna smell bad though. You just know your situation. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh girl, if I fart right now, it's gonna smell. I just know my situation. So if we hang out at TwitchCon, there's a chance that I'm gonna fart, but you're not gonna hear about it, and you're also not gonna smell it, so it's fine. Maybe I should switch topics. Maybe... Wait, I want to feed you, but I can't. Because they always, like, want to fly whenever okay. Put that on your dating profiles. You should date me because my farts aren't smelly. I feel like everybody would say that, though, right? I feel like everybody would be like, yeah, my farts don't smell. And they totally do. That's a talent of mine. I do burp a lot, so that's the, you know, there's a pro and there's a con. You know. The pro is I fart, you don't hear it, and you don't smell it. The con is I burp a lot. So, you know, you can't have it all. But wow, what a discussion. You know, what a conversation we're having in this day. Are you mad at me? Have I done something to offend you? No? Good. Feed me then. Pretty please, Bambina. I'm starving. Well, I'm not upset at you because it's none of my business what you do with your wife, but I guess with your girlfriend, I don't know. Y'all aren't dating. I don't know anything about y'all. Hey, have I told you about that time I was up on the coast right before the end of the war? Me and the other boys, we were waiting on an evacuation convoy. After a long night of skirmishes, we had been slowly but steadily going through the occupied villages of the lower mountains as the enemy retreated. I had joined a more regular corps since most of the resistance fighters could now be out in the open. So there we were, 20-something boys, aged 17 to 25, all of us tired but happy at the same time. We were winning, you know. We decided to stop for the night in a little village that overlooked the coast. At night, one of the mamas comes to us with a gigantic cauldron full of pasta and tomato sauce. Most of us hadn't seen tomato sauce in years. At the same time, we hear Marios, our youngest combatant, rushing in towards us yelling, "Leave me some, guys, it smells so good." He had been on scouting duty that night to check if there was anything fishy going on. And as he runs towards us, maybe 40 meters from where we were, we hear a very loud explosion and see a big puff of smoke. A landmine. They were not that frequent, but happened nonetheless. Aww. Most of us ran towards him, but I was the first there. I'll spare you the details, but it was obvious he wouldn't make it. As I hold him in my arms, covered in blood, he weakly opens his mouth and tells me, "Damn, Giovanni, I can't believe I won't eat this. No one gets my share, okay?" And those were his last words. That moment will forever be imprinted in my memory. Fuck. It will always remind me that life has to be lived for the simplest of things. A nice dish, a beautiful landscape, a gorgeous lady. Yep, that's what life is lived for. Oh, wow. That took a turn. Peanut, look at these jewels. Yeah, give me the jewels so I can sell them. I mean, what? Well, damn. Fuck. We went from a very lighthearted conversation of me farting to all of a sudden we're talking about war. And we're talking... I wonder if that's how he died as a character. Don't say anything. I'm just saying anything out loud. If you know the answer, don't talk to me. I know that sounds very harsh, but sometimes people take like streamers asking open-ended questions like that as like, oh yeah, let me tell you the entire lore about this character. So, you know, I'm just prefacing. I love that the CC gave me 5 different words for every time I said it. I'm sorry to hit you. I was literally in the middle of typing a big story about a guy who liked me, and then I didn't realize that I had to backspace all of it out because we started talking about farting and yelling. Oh, yay. Tell me about that story. Spin, I'm terrible at that stuff. There was one time one person said something remotely flirty to me. And this was like a streamer. It was like a flirty / like cute situation. And still to this day I'm like, was it a joke? Or were they trying to tell me something? Still to this day I'm like, well, I don't know. Anyway, it's a whole situation. with dating and all that stuff, it's like, it's such a mess. Because, like, you never know when someone's into you. Look, Peanut, I think I overstayed my welcome in this ship. I know. I've only just joined you guys recently, but I don't exactly have any say in this, you know? I wish I had. Don't worry, I had a jolly good time. No regrets. I did love that lounge. A bit too much, maybe. You were literally there for like 10 minutes. I think you might need to restock. Okay, let's go. You know the way, Bambina. Well then. He wants to leave. I thought his wife was gonna leave. Oh no, they're probably both gonna leave. Watch her go after him. Watch her go, like, be like, no, Giovanni, I'll go with you. I'll forgive you, whatever. Let's be together in the afterlife. Watch that be the storyline. Well, anyway, here we are. Improve. Oh my god, okay, I have to improve their house. It wasn't enough that I built the house. I have to improve it. Girl, I don't have bronze or clear glass. Girl, who do you think you are? Cook French fries for Stanley. Cook a corn dog for Bruce and Mikey. And give balabaz to Atul. Okay, work. How do I cook French fries? Do I have the recipe? Oh wait, the recipe is probably in the kitchen. I think there's a cookbook in there. Okay, work. How do I do French fries? I think it's potato and oil. Probably that. Do you got a first aid kit handy? Do you know how to patch up a wound? Tell me, you. I've been obsessed with Danity Kane again, y'all. I've been watching their old performances all the time. Okay, work. Yeah, it's potato and fat. Where are the potatoes? Give me a potato. One potato. I'm gonna cook like 5 potatoes and olive oil. I have only 4. I'll cook 2. I'll do that. I would love a potato, right? It wasn't even that deep. There was a guy I went to cosmetology school with who was always following me around and constantly being flirty and stuff. And I literally just interpreted it as him being friendly. But then one day a few of the girls pulled me aside and were like, you know he's like madly in love with you, girl, right? And I was like, that's so funny. That was like me. Okay, there was this guy in middle school who was not the guy I had like a friends with benefits thing, and I remember he was like new in my class. Like he and like two girls transferred from like a different class to our class, and he was like very friendly with me, like very, very friendly with me. And I remember those 2 girlies were like, oh, he likes you, or like y'all like each other, whatever. And I was like, no, because like I obviously like, I don't know, when you're in middle school and it's like 2007, you're like, I'm not gay. I know that's bad, even though it's not. Just, you know, just to preface, just as a reminder. But when you're a kid in 2007, you're like, no, I'm not. Or like, no, I don't like him because that would mean I'm gay. You know? Like, so you're like, and that's not the tea. But yeah, that was also a thing. But, you know, I really ended up liking him a lot. I saw him one time, like years later, because he ended up going to the same high school as me. But he was in a different like class. He was doing something else. And for like 1 year though, like it was because he failed 9th grade, so he had to redo it. And so he decided to do it in a different school, which was the school that I went to. But I remember like he changed quite a bit. I think he was like, I don't know if he was feeling his like mask era, or maybe it was me. Maybe it was me being like, I want to be a cool kid, and so I want to leave behind, you know, the people from middle school, because I want to focus on the people. And there was like a whole thing of like, you know, like he had a different schedule than me, so I think there was also like an element of like, let him have his like new friends and let me have my, you know what I mean? Like it was like that kind of thing of like, let us have our own friends kind of thing, and then if we want to hang out, we will hang out. Guess what? We never did. But yeah, it was different. Like at that time, like literally one summer passed, and like suddenly he smokes, and he's hanging out with like, he was like hanging out with a guy that smoked not just, you know, tobacco, and he was always like high as fuck. He well, not a fun fact, but he ended up dating the person who is now my only friend IRL. And he was actually like an abusive boyfriend, so we don't talk about that. He was actually terrible. But there's that. Small world. Oh my god, the chickens. But yeah, I saw him one time. Not the terrible guy, the guy that I had a crush on in middle school. Well, one of the guys that I had a crush on in middle school. And I saw him and he was like so sweet. This was like years after high school, like a couple years maybe. I think he may have been going to college, or maybe he was like just about finishing high school. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe he was already done with it. Who knows? Maybe it was his last year. Maybe he was done. Time is a flat circle. And I remember he was so sweet because that was at a bus stop that was, I guess, close to where he lives. So it was just one of those things where I just happened to be there. And I remember he had bulked up as well. He was like a thick boy. He was like a muscly boy. And I think either like around that time or shortly after or something, he went to the military actually. And I remember, I don't know, like if at some point I removed him from my friends, like in high school or like after, because sometimes I would have these moments of like, oh, this person is not friends with me, like we haven't talked in months or we haven't talked in a year or whatever, so I would remove them from Facebook because we're not friends. Like we're not friends, like we're not even acquaintances. He doesn't even, that was probably a thing, like he didn't go to my school anymore and we never talked anyway, so I was like, I'm just gonna remove him from my friends, or maybe he removed me, I don't know. And I remember like probably like this year or like maybe last year or something, I tried to add him on Facebook as a friend and he totally ignored me. Like still to this day, like very rarely I will have a moment at like 3 a.m. where I'm like, I want to check his Facebook. And yeah. And I was like, oh, the friend request is like still pending. I'm like, well, girl, it's over. Like, cause like in my head, to me, he's like the one that got away kind of thing. Like if it was a different time, or like if we were more mature, or like, I don't know. I don't even know if he ever even liked me that way. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was just like he just was very friendly, but I doubt that was the case. I think it was more of a thing of like, I like you, but I'm not gay, so we're not gonna be in a relationship or anything of the sort, which I was fine with as well. Because I remember in the beginning I hated the attention too, because I thought it was either him making fun of me or it was like a whole thing. So that's another thing. That's probably why I take when people are flirty to me as like a joke, because straight guys do that as a joke to each other all the time. So there were a lot of like weird things of like, aha, he's like making fun of me, right? Like I think he thinks I'm gay and he's making fun of me. And who knows, like maybe he was actually like, you know, trying to get something. Or I don't know. But I was always like closed off like that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I do kind of see him as like someone who we like. I don't know if like I don't know. Maybe if we. I don't know how things are right now in schools in Portugal, but I don't know. I feel like maybe if it was a different scenario, or maybe if it was a different context, maybe we could have had a relationship or something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's always a case of like what ifs kind of thing. And who knows also, like you never really know. For all I know, he could be a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like for all I know, he could have like grown up to become a fucking asshole. So, you know, there's also that. French fries. Also, what else do I need to cook? A corn dog. Work. Corn dog, corn flour, and pork. I don't have corn flour. Let me make corn flour. When, ooh, excuse me. When things like that don't work out, it's probably for the best. Yeah. It was like, the thing is like, it was never a relationship to begin with because it never got to that point. But we were in middle school also. But I do remember, like, I remember like feeling personally attacked because then he got in a relationship with a girl. And I don't think they ended up even staying in that relationship after that school year. But I don't know if it was a thing of like, she's the cool girl in high school, so I need to, you know what I mean? Like she, like social pressures and all that. I don't know. It just always felt like, it didn't feel genuine to me, I guess. And to me, he did give me that vibe of like, he was closeted kind of thing, but you know, who cares, right? We live different lives anyway, and it's a whole thing. But it's really interesting how like sometimes I do think about stuff like that, about the, you know, when you play like a game like Until Dawn and stuff like that, and if you think like, huh, what if I made different decisions? What if like I stayed in touch with that person? What if, you know, I tried to you know what I mean? Like to what could have been, right? Bring Giovanni to the Everdore. Girl, I have so many things to do. Bring a surf and turf to the woodworker. Gustav needs a desk. Oh yeah. Build a smithy. Girl, all the girlies want to do something. Can I even build a smithy? What's going on here? Everybody wants to do all the things. I don't even have a smithy. I think I have to upgrade my boat. I think I need another orchard because I think I have new fruits and I don't have any place for them. Do I not have space for them? Well, that's upsetting. Surely I can make room for that. Yeah, I probably want that on that side. It's definitely not something that I like obsess over or anything. It's just like wondering about it, right? When you're bored and you don't have anything to do, you're like, huh. Let me think about something that I have no control over and that happened years ago. Oh shit. Not this. Maybe I can build an orchard now. I think so. I should have space for it. Now I have space for it. Oh, I can't move anything. Oh no, I hate it. I hate that it's like all the way over here and everything else is like down there. I hate that. Let me try to get it closer at least. That's so upsetting. Ugh. I'll put that over here. It's close enough. I don't have anything going on right now. Let me just go back through my whole life and wonder if I could have done stuff differently. Before you know it's 3 a.m. Yeah, it's usually 3 a.m. when you start thinking like that. Ooh, olive. Work. Oh my god, an olive tree. I can get like olive oil. And then a peach tree. Do I have peaches? I do have peaches. Peaches and blueberries. Pears. Do I have cherries, apples, pears? I think I'm just gonna leave one of the slots available for in case I get new like seeds or something like that. You're one third of the way to soap. Yes. Work. I love that. Oh wow, it's almost like 8 already. Fuck. Okay, let me just do these pending tasks and I need to go. I need to go, honey. Time goes by so quickly up in here. Time goes by so quickly. Time goes by so quickly. Time goes by so quickly. Oh wow, look at